Hi everybody, it's me Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 11, Episode 5, Kiss My Peach. We'll get to that later. I feel like this episode is going to go really long, but if you aren't sick of me by the end of the episode, I think I'm going to have Teresa recite the poem for you guys. Somebody asked me to do that, and I said maybe I will do it during this recap. So, stick around for that if you're interested. This episode starts off with Melissa and Joe arriving at their short home. Kidding. Shore home. Got it. I guess it's Joe Gorga's birthday, or it was recently, because they're teasing the kids about not saying happy birthday to him. Then Melissa and Joe sit down to have a conversation about Jackie's second birthday party for Evan that they were just at the night before. Joe says, it was a little awkward there. And Melissa said, well, because you were trying to defend your sister. And then we get a flashback to him saying, I don't think Teresa was doing it maliciously. I think she was looking out for you. Yeah. That's when Evan goes, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And they all laughed. I think even Joe knows that if Teresa were looking out for Jackie, she would have told Jackie about the rumor, not everybody else at the party. Anyway, then Melissa comes up with the bright idea that Joe is the only one who can get through to Teresa. So she thinks that he should talk to Teresa and get her to understand. Side note, I don't care if he can or can't talk Teresa into seeing reason, because at this point, even if Teresa does apologize, it would be under duress. And Jackie's not going to accept her apology anyway. There's no way that Jackie and Teresa will ever really want to be in the same room with each other. I don't see that happening. I mean, they'll do it, but I just don't see them wanting to. This isn't going to get fixed. And before you say, well, look at Teresa and Danielle after the prostitution whore table flip, but that's only because Danielle became Teresa's bitch. And I don't see Jackie doing that. I don't think Jackie wants the fame as much as Danielle did. I think this is a different story. I think Jackie's just going to go away. She's hardly on as it is. Anyway, Joe agrees that he's going to talk to his sister that night. They're going out with friends for his birthday dinner, and Teresa's going to be there. He thinks she's gone too far, so he will talk to her. Next, we are at Jennifer's house, and we're out in the back. She's grilling. Her dad's there because he lives with them. The kids are just, they're screwing around by the pool, and their cousins are there too. Her sister comes over. So I guess her sister is planning a trip to Turkey, and they're trying to get her dad to go with her because he doesn't walk without a walker now. He needs a lot of help. So she would like him to go with her so that he can meet his grandson, who's named after him, for the first time because he's never met him. The issue is that their mother would be very jealous, and she'd be like, why does he get to go and not me? And then either Jennifer or her sister said, yeah, but mom could go on her own. I mean, I'm sure she wants to go with her daughter too, Nobody wants to fly to Turkey by themselves. They think the mother's being unreasonable because she won't go alone, but she also won't go with her husband. So I guess she is being the stubborn one, but also I am not willing to take sides yet. I mean, all we've ever seen before was Jennifer and her mom, We barely ever saw the dad. And even though she was a little problematic at times, like some homophobic stuff with her son, but even that, she came around at the end. So she's a complicated woman, let's just say that. It might just be that she's very old school and she's learning to be more accepting. But apparently there's more underneath the surface than we know, because I don't think that both of her daughters would be so on her dad's side, especially not if their mother is telling them he didn't treat her very well when nobody was around. I mean, that's a little bit like, shouldn't she be believed? Side note, I have all these thoughts in my head about people you think and how they're different privately, because my husband and I just finished watching Alan v. Farrow, and oh my God, this is like coming from a huge Woody Allen fan. I don't see how that guy's not in jail. Anyway, that got me thinking a lot about people that you perceive one way being very different in private, So I don't know what the mother's like. I don't know what the father's like, We don't have the whole story there. That's all I'm saying. Okay, moving on. We are with Dolores now, and she's at David's house. She just lets herself in. So, even though she doesn't live there, her son does, and apparently she feels like it's enough of her house to just walk in. So she walks in, and she's brought some lunch, and she calls David and leaves a message for him. I'm at the house. That's the other thing. I'm at the house, not I'm at your house. So... But she said, yeah, I'm at the house and I have lunch whenever you're ready. While she's waiting, Frank calls her and they're FaceTiming. Side note, I hate that Frank is a cheater, but he's so adorable in these glasses. Isn't he? He's just like a big, lovable goofball. I don't know. I have to keep reminding myself that Frank's a dirty dog who cheated on Dolores, I think, when she was pregnant. So, even worse. Anyway, Dolores tells him that she's going to talk to David about their relationship. And then she asks him if the kitchen cabinets got ordered yet. She's got a designer, and she is redoing her kitchen entirely. Anyway, they hang up. Frank says, good luck talking to David. And then you hear David's motorcycle pull up, and... This is so funny. The closed captioning, as David is driving his motorcycle into the driveway, the closed captioning says, lightly tense music. So I guess we know what the mood is. Anyway, he gets in, they're making small talk. She goes to get water out of the fridge, which, side note, is the refrigerator. It looks like it's around the corner in another room other than the kitchen, which I find strange and inconveniently located. And why? Because they designed that whole house. So why would you design the refrigerator to not even be in the same room? No need to comment. I'm sure I got this wrong, but it looked weird, like she was around the corner getting some water out of the fridge. Anyway, she starts talking about the new refrigerator she's getting for her kitchen. And she said, it's got a water dispenser inside. After telling him how excited she is about all the stuff, she's like, are you bothered by that? Are you bothered because it makes it seem like I won't ever move in here? And he said, oh, I know you're never going to move in here. After I had this house built to your exact specifications, just everything you wanted is in this house, I know you're not going to move in now. Side note too, didn't Dolores just redo her kitchen? Not that long ago. I kind of remember the girls coming over, like Jacqueline and maybe Teresa, and they had sledgehammers and they were breaking through walls and stuff in her kitchen. I think Dolores has a little bit of a problem, maybe. Like a remodeling problem. Should they have AA for that? Anyway, so Dolores said, yeah, you built this house the way I wanted it, but you said that when it was done, we were going to get married, and that didn't happen, did it? So I'm not moving in. Why didn't we get engaged when this house was done? And David said, because you're so busy all the time. What? And then I think we get a little glimpse into what the real issue is. Because he said, I'm home every night. You're all over the place. And she goes, I'm not all over the place. And don't make excuses and put this on me. When you didn't propose to me, I'll be honest with you, David, it kind of pushed me away a little bit. And I don't want us to grow apart. I'm not saying that. And David's like, we're not growing apart. Dolores, well, I don't see you very much. So it ends with them saying that they're going to make more of an effort to spend time with each other in the evening. I don't know. What I think the crux of the matter was for David is, I think David is more of an introvert. Dolores, very much an extrovert. And David works hard. And then he comes home and I think he would just like her to be there and have the two of them stay in and be together rather than go to parties or go out to dinner with other people and all the stuff that maybe is in Dolores's life. So now I'm wondering if it's more than David being commitment shy, if it's more David, he wants her to commit to sort of having more like quiet time with him or something. She said, why do you want me to come over every night? So that I can watch you on the computer? And he said, Dolores, I can't help it if somebody goes into labor or something like that. And she goes, I'm not talking about that, and you know it. You sit on your computer all night, and am I supposed to just sit and stare at you doing that? So anyway, the compromise, they didn't really say, but maybe it's more like, I'll come over more if you pay more attention to me. The scene just ended, and I didn't get a real sense that anybody was going to be making an effort. So I don't know that anything is going to change there with those two. Okay, next we are back in Tom's River, which is where Joe and Melissa's shore house is. And we're at a restaurant to celebrate Joe's birthday. Joe and Melissa get there first, and then I guess they're just there with Melissa's two sisters and their husbands, and then they're waiting on Teresa. Once Teresa gets there, the waiter asks what they want for drinks, and Joe said ice and lemons for the vodka that everybody's gonna have. And he said, does anybody want anything else to go with the vodka? And Teresa goes, yeah, pineapple. Melissa goes, oh, I know why she wants that. And Teresa goes, I always eat pineapple, Melissa. But that's what you said to Tony on the phone. And then we get a flashback to when she called Tony the pool guy when they were at the lake. And you hear Teresa go, I eat a lot of pineapple because it makes me taste good. So then at the table, Teresa said, I heard it makes you taste really sweet. In case you're wondering, this is what her brother's face looks like. So not taking the hint from that, she goes on to say, yeah, pineapple and peaches. Then we talk about how horny Teresa is, and somebody asks her what her type is, and she said, well, usually I go for tall, dark, and handsome. And Joe goes, well, that's the exact opposite of your ex. Yeah, pretty much. And Teresa agrees, and then she tells everyone that she would like to get her peach kissed. At this point, Joe is begging her to stop. So then Teresa tells everyone that she's having a pool party, like an end of summer party, and she's going to invite the pool boy and all the girls. Joe. This came out of nowhere, though. I don't think this was exactly like a smooth segue or anything, but Joe goes, listen, I want you to invite Jackie. And she goes, are you serious? And he goes, yeah, I want you to own a little bit that you were wrong. Say you don't know that he's a cheater. Teresa goes, I didn't say that for a fact. Plus, that's not going to do it for Jackie to say, I don't know that he's a cheater. You need to tell Jackie that you don't believe it. And I think you need to apologize for not going to Jackie with that information and instead telling everybody else. If Teresa could manage to say, listen, not only am I sorry I said it at Evan's birthday party, that was terrible timing, but also I should have just come to you privately and said, listen, I heard this. I can't remember where, but I just thought you should know it's out there. I don't believe it, but I wanted you to be aware. If she apologizes in that way and says it sincerely, maybe, and I'm still not even sure, but maybe Jackie would then reciprocate and say, and I apologize for that terrible analogy. Anyway, the opposite effect pretty much happened. Even just suggesting that she owned part of it, she starts getting all fired up again about the Gia analogy. And Melissa's sisters are unaware, or at least they pretend they're unaware, of what they're talking about. So Teresa tells them, Jackie said Gia does coke in the bathroom. And they're like, what? So Melissa goes, well, hold on. Jackie only said that to try to hit home with you, Teresa. And for that, she was very apologetic. So then Joe's like, yeah, let me tell you about last night, which was Evan's second birthday party. She apologized to us for that, and it was sincere, don't you think, Melissa? Melissa goes, very sincere. Teresa, don't you think you could at least apologize for saying it at Evan's birthday party? Teresa, she didn't find out about it at the birthday party. She needs to stop being a crybaby. Listen, she's not wrong, because that was the point I made last week. That was kind of what irritated me about Jackie when she's like, I just want this horrible memory to be out of Evan's mind, so I'm having a second birthday party for him. He doesn't have a bad memory of his first birthday party. He's going to remember being there with all his friends, getting drunk, having fun. That's it. That's what he will remember from the first one. I mean, you know I'm not taking Teresa's side though, right? Okay. Anyway, Joe's like, come on, you need to put an end to this. Invite her to your pool party as a gift to me for my birthday. Teresa goes, all right. I mean, she didn't invite me to her get together, but, you know, I'll be the bigger person. You mean she didn't invite you to Evan's second birthday party that she created for the sole purpose of erasing the memory of what you did to his first birthday party? You think you should have been invited to that? It's just, oh God, it's so funny. Anyway, you know Teresa, always the bigger person. She said, okay, I'll do it. So she starts texting all the ladies now in this like group text. Melissa goes, and Jackie too, you're including? And she goes, yes. Melissa goes, but not if you're like going to give her attitude and tell her to shut up and stuff. So Teresa goes, you know what? You do it. So she hands her phone and she goes, you're better at this. Melissa's like, oh my God. Okay, what do you want me to say? So Teresa goes, just that I'm having a pool party. I would love for them to bring their husbands and bathing suit attire. Then she says, I'm gonna invite Margaret and Jennifer, Dolores, and Michelle Payas. Melissa's typing away and then she like looks up when she says Michelle Payas. Joe goes, Michelle? That crazy bitch who's talking shit about me? So Teresa tells them that she told Michelle she is not going to list her house with her until she makes it right with her brother, and she said she was going to make it right with him. And Melissa, who's like still working on the invite, goes, well, I'm not going to include her in this text. You can text your weird friends separately. Melissa's sister asks, do you think Jackie and her husband are going to come to the pool party? No. No, they won't. Teresa, well, if they don't, they can go fuck themselves. Okay. I mean, at least Teresa seems remorseful for what she's done. That's the important thing, right? Next, we are at Margaret's house, and oh my God, she is fixing an iced coffee. What is that called where you see something once and now you see it everywhere? Whatever it is, that is happening to me with Margaret and iced coffee. And also, Margaret and like old rock concert t-shirts or something. Like she's got an Elton John one on. I think I saw her at Lake George with like David Bowie, or I can't even remember who they all were, but is that her thing now? She got rid of the pigtails. Now it's rock tees. Also, side note, we get to see Marlene again, and I was getting a little worried about her. Were you guys? We haven't seen her in a long time. But yeah, she's still kicking. She has to tell her to do everything. The doorbell rings. Marlene, get the door. So anyway, the woman at the door is Margaret's ghostwriter for that, memoir she was talking about with the ladies last week. Her name is Emily Liebert, and she comes over to, talk to Margaret about the book and play chess. This is the weirdest thing to me. Margaret's house is huge, right? But I feel like she always films in this one room that is never going to get finished. So there's no furniture except for this rather small table with a chessboard and chess pieces. It is set up to play chess. That's where Margaret chooses for them to sit down and talk. I mean, this poor Emily can barely, she's trying to put her tape recorder down and she's got to put it way over on the edge. And Marlene brings her a drink and she's setting that on the other side. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. Literally, if that's the only table you have, Margaret, put the pieces away. It's just so weird. Anyway, this scene gets, emotional. Margaret talks about her childhood. She talks about her mother and the importance that she put on looking good. She equated that to her power was in how she looked. She was a poor single mother, and I think she kind of instilled that in Margaret, that your looks are what's going to get you anywhere in life, or probably going to get you a rich husband, I guess, maybe. And when Margaret married Jan, she saw him as someone stable after a very unstable childhood. She gets really emotional when she talks about Joe Benigno because she said he is the first healthy adult relationship she's ever had. Emily said, this is great. I'm excited to get started on the book. And then Emily slid her queen over, putting Margaret's king in check, and the conversation was over. Side note, if you have not done this already, you need to binge Queen's Gambit. So good. Okay, in the next scene, Teresa is sitting at her vanity and she's putting on makeup and she is FaceTiming with Joe Giudice. I guess she's getting ready for the pool party that night. Joe tells her that he got the paperwork for the divorce and he goes, yeah, I just signed it. And she goes, I think this is the easiest divorce in the whole world. We get like a flashback to the reunion when her brother thought that Joe was gonna like pull a fast one and try to get money from Teresa or something like that. And Teresa's like, I knew Joe wouldn't do that. Why? Because he's such a stand-up guy? Anyway, good for them. Happy it's not an issue. That was Elizabeth's entire storyline on Orange County last season. So everyone's getting ready for the pool party. At Margaret's house, she's picking out an outfit for Joe to wear. It's a polo shirt with green olives all over it and red shorts to bring out the pimento in the olives. And would it really be a montage without Frank Sr. lumbering into Dolores' closet and sitting down at her vanity while she picks out an outfit? No. Or without little Olivia over at Jennifer's house in full makeup. Here she's in a bright pink lip advising Jennifer on which bathing suit to wear. Bill, unfortunately, has to go to the hospital again. But he is going to meet Jennifer at the party after sundown. I mean, when he's done. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Truthfully, I'm not sure if he's like a True Blood kind of vampire, where if he's in the daylight, he will just like incinerate, or if he's more of like a Twilight vampire, where he will just sparkle in the sun. Unclear. I will get back to you guys on that. Anyway, Jennifer tells him that she is so tired of all that's going on with her parents that tonight she just wants to let loose. Uh-oh. Are we finally going to get a Tequila Jen sighting? It's been too long. It really has. She tells Bill, the only person I'm going to try and make happy tonight, Bill, is me, Bill. Okay, then we check in with Melissa, who's on the phone with Joe, reminding him that Michelle and her husband are coming, like he needs to be reminded of that. And she doesn't want any man fights. Joe says he can't wait to see if John has the balls to come up to him. Back at Dolores's, she's telling Frank the story about this Michelle telling Jennifer that Joe Gorga owes her husband tens of thousands of dollars because he did some events for Joe Gorga. Side note, by now we all know it was a second presidential inauguration where he had Melissa performing her hit single on display, and for Teresa, it was the spoken word. If you're wondering why there was a second inauguration, apparently it's because the first one was ruined by Bernie Sanders whispering behind his mittens to everyone there that Joe was doing stuff, like at the gym. Okay. Well, I think we all just now discovered together that I can't do a Bernie Sanders. Quickly moving on, when Dolores tells Frank that this Michelle said that Joe Gorga owes tens of thousands of dollars, Frank's response is, Dolores, why would Teresa invite these people? She knows they're going to antagonize her brother. Have you ever seen Joe Gorga lose his temper? Yeah, we all have. Bravo, of course, shows us this little gem of a clip. They look like two little, I don't know, piglets wrestling around or something. I don't know. The upshot of this is that Frank Catania does not want to be breaking up any fights. Okay, coming back from a commercial, Bravo shows us a quick shot of the sign that says, Welcome to Tenafly, and then we see Teresa's house. That's confusing because as soon as I saw that sign, I thought we were going to get a scene with Jackie. Does that mean that Teresa lives in Tenafly? I'm sure she doesn't, because isn't that the whole reason she was like, let's ask Margaret? She lives near Jackie. I don't know. I'm a little confused by that. We see Teresa, before anybody gets there, we see Teresa kind of running around and making sure everything's ready for the party. So Melissa and Joe are the first to arrive, and Teresa asks Melissa, did you hear anything from Jackie? And Melissa goes, oh yeah, I saw her. We get a flashback to, I guess, Melissa and Jackie having lunch or something. And Melissa tells Jackie about the pool party, which, I mean, she got the text, right? Anyway, Jackie says, does she really think I'm going to take my husband to her pool party? She knows. Jackie knows what happens to husbands at pool parties. Your husband's in the pool. Anyway, Melissa goes, yes, because this is an olive branch. Jackie then says, well, she can take her olive branch and shove it up her ass. So that's a no then? We cut back to Teresa's house, and I guess Melissa relayed it exactly as it happened, because we just hear Teresa's reaction, and Teresa says, oh, good, because now that she says that, I'm done. I mean, I don't blame her. Listen, nobody really expected Jackie and Evan to come to Teresa's party. I don't think Teresa did. I don't think anybody did. But she didn't have to respond that way. Okay, so now more people are arriving. And do I really need to point out Teresa's cover-up here? I mean, geez, does she own stock in this company? Dolores had a little bikini showing off her new butt. Everyone's like, your butt looks great, Dolores. Teresa, in her confessionals, said, Dolores always had a great ass, just like me. I was always known for my ass and my eyes. Swear to God. Oh, sweet girl. You're known for a couple of other things as well, but loving the confidence. So there's a whole pineapple thing going on again. Teresa comes out with 2 pineapples and a lot of sexual innuendos. I won't bore you with those. And then Frank and Joe Gorga are sitting at one of the tables outside and they're eating. Joe goes, my sister says pineapples make her taste better. What? Why did you bring that up? About your sister, Joe? I did, however, love Frank's response. He goes, you could control what you taste like by what you eat? Joe, that's what my sister says. Oh, God, stop talking. Let the pool boy talk about it, not her brother. All right, so Margaret and Joe are the last of the housewives to get there, and they're all standing in a group, and Teresa says, you know what I love? That Jackie's not here. This is Lake George all over again. Stop making your love for her so obvious, Teresa. If you really want us to believe that you don't care, stop talking about her. Anyway, Margaret and Melissa are kind of defending Jackie and saying, well, you know, Jackie wanted a more personal conversation rather than a group text. And Jennifer goes, truth be told, I thought that was a bad idea. Teresa's like, I don't care. Melissa goes, listen, I don't think the two of you will ever be great friends, but I would love it if you could be in the same room together. So then Dolores says, well, there might be hope for that because I'm inviting you all to my house on Friday. I'm getting an award for breast cancer awareness. So yeah, she's getting this award. She's done a lot of charitable work, I guess. And she's getting the Ambassador of Hope Award, which is really cool. I'm not making fun of that at all. So Teresa goes, this Friday? Because I'm not going to be here. It's a soccer tournament. It's out of town. They're like, oh no. Margaret goes, oh my God, this is dragging on so long. So now we're just, milling around the party, and there's quite a bit of drinking going on. Tequila, Jen. Just making a note of that. And now Michelle and her husband, John, show up. Joe had just been talking about John to Joe Benigno and Frank. The three of them are sitting together. And Joe looks up and he goes, that's the guy right over there. Then in the next minute, Joe jumps up, goes over to him and says, John, come over here and talk to me. I'm sorry, what happened to, I can't wait to see if he's got the balls to come over to me? Apparently, your nerves got the best of you, and you needed to, like, get this over with. That's what I think. I think Joe Gorga's a little nervous about this conversation. He knew it had to be done on camera because it was part of a storyline, and the sole reason that we even see this Michelle, right? So I think he was like anticipating this and hoping that it went as planned. Anyway, we can hear Dolores saying, oh, this could get really ugly really fast. Everyone is, like, I would say, very tense. So after a couple seconds of very awkward small talk, Joe says, so I heard you had some stuff to say about me owing you tens of thousands of dollars. John looks a little taken aback for a second, and Joe said, why did you say that? John says, you know the profit that we made? Have you ever done a job, you do the job, and then you were supposed to get paid when it's done? Joe, yeah, if you have a deal. John goes, just like we talked about. We were partners on that. Meanwhile, Melissa goes over to Teresa and asks her, are you worried about your brother having this conversation over there? And Teresa's like, let them talk. So back to the guys, Joe said, it was my event. John goes, why would I just go out of my way to do an event, sell $20,000 worth of vendor memberships, do the MC, do all this stuff? Why would I do that? Joe, you did it to ride on my coattails. Okay, I don't dispute that that might actually be what happened, but I'm just shocked he's like saying it so bluntly. Cut to the ladies. Michelle has joined the group, and she's like acting like everything's cool, saying hello to Melissa, and Melissa's not having it. Melissa is basically like her husband. She pulls Michelle aside, and she's like, when I saw you at Evan's birthday party, why didn't you say anything to me about this? Michelle goes, why would I? And Melissa's like, because if I were you, I would have said, hey, have your husband call my husband. And she goes, you told Jennifer. Michelle says, well, we just got into a conversation about it. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. Yeah, right. You're on camera. I get that maybe this is new for you, being on the Housewives show. But you said on camera that Joe Gorga owes your husband tens of thousands of dollars. And you didn't think that was going to be a big deal. I don't believe you. Then Melissa calls it a schmear campaign on her husband. I love it. Oh, I love that. So Michelle says, well, here's the thing. It's true. Cut to the guys. Joe says, I don't play mind games. If we spoke about money, that would have been upfront. Then John says, you know what you told me when I interviewed you? That you would do deals on a handshake. We were doing something together, and we figured if it did well, we would do more events together. Joe, that's what it was. Going forward, we would split the money, not that event. That seems shady. Back to the ladies, Margaret and Dolores are kind of calling Michelle out for bringing that up at Evan's birthday party. Why does that sound familiar to me? Oh, that's right, because Michelle's date did the same thing. So Michelle goes, you're right, I shouldn't have done that or talked to Jennifer about it, and I apologize for that. But you know what? It's not for us to like fight about. That's the guy's thing. They need to work it out. Okay, so back to the guys. Joe's lame response. I thought that John was going to like let him have it. I thought for sure he was gonna go after him hard. No. John says, okay, let's squash it. Let's squash tens of thousands of dollars? It's just okay now? So then he says, all I'm asking you is for you to let your sister list her house with my wife. Yeah, I don't trust either one of them. So Joe goes, all right, but you have to say I didn't mean anything by saying you owe me money. If you say that, that's it. I'm fine then. He goes, because in my heart, I didn't owe you anything. John goes, okay, I think it was just a miscommunication. And they agree that the next time they do business together, they're going to get everything in writing. Yep, done, shake hands, all good. I mean, listen, this is episode 5. Am I grateful that this isn't a storyline that is carrying us through the entire season? Yes, of course. I hate when things drag out. But this getting resolved in one quick conversation, this seems crazy to me. Anyway, since the guys made up, the girls decide that they're good too. And now it's just back to drinking ourselves silly. Then Melissa steals my nickname and says, here she goes, Tequila Jen. And that right there is all the proof I need that Melissa Gorga watches my recaps. Could you imagine? Oh, God. Nothing much else is going on right now. The sun has set, so Bill arrives, and you can hear Teresa saying, oh, I love everybody's beach attire. Gee, I wonder why. Michelle and her husband now corner Teresa and basically lock her down to agree to let Michelle list her home. These people are scummy. You know, whatever Joe owed John is nothing compared to the commission that Michelle will get by selling Teresa's home. I will bet you that that little threat of listing it with someone else was their way of getting John to agree on camera that Joe Gorga didn't owe him money and wasn't stiffing him tens of thousands of dollars. Because here's the thing, it makes everything prior to that makes sense if you look at it in that way. Like Teresa saying, well, I don't know about my brother's dealings. I don't know what he owes. It's because she did know. But Melissa and Joe, they needed some way to turn that narrative around. So the way they worked it out with them is your wife can sell my sister's home, get that commission. And I think this was all planned out. I mean, I don't know that for a fact. This is my cynical brain. Because don't you think that John caved awfully quick? I don't know. That scene bugged me. All right, so back to the party. Jennifer is drinking a lot. Like, a lot. And now the pool boy arrives, and he's looking really cute in glasses. Again, you know what I think it is? I just realized this. Because I'm not attracted to these like muscle heads, you know, these guys who just like work out all the time. And that's not my type. So to me, when they put on a pair of glasses, it makes them like more dimensional. I feel like maybe they have more personality. They're more well-rounded. It's so dumb. Leave a comment, Frank Catania and Tony, the pool guy. Do you think they look better with glasses or without? All right, anyway, Teresa is being all super flirty with Tony. And then the ladies and Tony all get in the pool because she bought this like raft that holds cups to play beer pong. Jennifer, of course, is one of them and really, really shouldn't be. Especially because afterwards you see her sitting on the ground trying to drink a bottle of water, and it just dribbling straight down like she's barely reaching her mouth. People are concerned. That's all I'm going to say about that. We get a Tequila Jen montage, but this right here, I'm not even sure this is Tequila Jen. This is like Ambulance Jen. I feel worried. Margaret is clearly worried. She goes over there and she's trying to get her up and get her cover up back on her. And Jennifer can't even stand up. She like sinks back down to her knees. She's got her head on the ground. It's not good. Bill is like, you see Bill looking over and then he goes running over there. So he like picks her up and he's carrying her out. The Joes go running after him to help, which was kind of sweet. They get her in Bill's like sports car and everyone's like, oh God, don't throw up in the car. And she's like, this is so embarrassing. And they're like, no, we've all done it. It's fine. We get a montage, of course, of the guys carrying Bill like that. I'm left with an icky feeling. I don't know about you guys, because this wasn't fun in any way. If you didn't see this episode, when I tell you she was like bad off, I mean worse than like Sonia falling off the chair. Worse than Dorinda when she had her lipstick all over her face and Cartagena. Worse than Leah with the torches. Basically worse than any New York housewife. No, I mean, it wasn't pretty. And all I can think is this cannot have been her plan when she told Bill, I'm just going to take care of myself tonight. Side note, this is why I always tell my daughter, nothing good happens after tipsy. At the worst, it's not safe for a girl to be that wasted. And at the best, you're not having fun anymore. I mean, does it look like Jennifer's having a good time right now? She has to leave the party early. At the very end, you see Bill's car driving away, and the mics are still on, and you hear her go, oh, I think I'm going to throw up. And then Bill goes, oh, no. Yeah, that's the way this episode ended. But previews for next week, looks like Jennifer managed to rally enough to tell the other ladies that Bill told her that during boys' night, Joe Benigno told everyone that he also heard the rumor about Evan. And it's causing problems, guys. Finally. I'm tired of all the ladies getting along great and bouncing between hanging out with Jackie or hanging out with Teresa. And Jackie and Teresa, the only ones who have conflict, are never seeing each other again. I mean, you know, it's probably how things would happen in real life, but doesn't make for a good show. Hey, if you guys are still here, next we have Teresa reciting her poem for you. Enjoy. This is my poem I wrote, and it's called Ode to Evan Doing Stuff. You know, like at the gym. He doesn't do it in his house. He doesn't do it with the mouse. Jackie doesn't know enough. I heard Evan's doing stuff. It's not me who's spreading rumors about Evan having nooners. When he says he's out with Tim, he's really doing it at the gym. If Margaret saw him behind the lockers, did you know she got new knockers? Then an apology is in order, 'cause Jackie lied about my daughter. Sorry, Biden, I got off track. Can you bring my Joe Judice back? I don't care much either way. I got a new guy, so I'm okay. But maybe you'd like to be on our show. With my ex gone, we're down one Joe. Thank you, everybody. All right, thank you guys so much. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so and leave a comment. I love to hear from you guys. I will be back next week with the next recap of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. We're not quite out of the woods yet, so please wash your hands, wear a mask. Let's all stay safe. Love you guys. Bye.